Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Amma ba'd. Fassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم فإن تنازعتم في شيء فردوه إلى الله والرسول إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O you who believe, obey Allah and obey the messenger and those who are in authority amongst you. Should you dispute in any matter, then refer it to Allah and His messenger, if indeed you all are believers in Allah and the last day. That is the best way to follow. Barakallahu feekum wa hayyakumullah. That is from Surah Nisa, ayah number 59. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us that in matters of disagreement, differences, we refer it to the book and the sunnah, and that is the best process to follow, and in that inshallah there is khair and barakah. I'm going to read from my notes inshallah ta'ala regarding the Taraweeh, and this will be the conclusion inshallah on that topic. Firstly, we have, and I'm going to be reading from the classical Hanafi scholars, their view, and they are muhaddithun, scholars of hadith and fiqh. They are jurists, and they are regarded as authorities in the Hanafi madhab. Firstly, we have the Allama Al-Aini, who is Badruddin Al-Aini, rahimahullah ta'ala, a 8th century scholar. He wrote a commentary of Sahih al-Bukhari called Umdatul Qari, and in the book he says that if you were to state that it is not clear in the narrations by Imam Bukhari regarding the number of rak'at the Prophet ﷺ prayed in these nights, that is the 3 nights of Ramadan, in response I say there is a narration from Ibn Khuzaymah and Ibn Hibban from the hadith of Jabir radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who states that the Prophet ﷺ prayed 8 rak'ah with us in the month of Ramadan and finished with the witr. This is found in Umdatul Qari, which is the commentary of Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 3, page 597, the Egyptian print. So remember and recall that Mufti Abdul Qadir Hoosen said that there is no 8 rak'ats. Second scholar that I would like to mention is a muhaddith. He passed away in the year 762 after the Hijrah, a hadith scholar from the land of Al-Habasha, Ethiopia, Imam Az-Zayla'i Al-Hanafi. He wrote a book, Nasbur Raya fi Takhrij Ahadith Al-Hidayah. So this book is a book which references the ahadith which is found in Al-Hidayah, one of the main Hanafi fiqh books. It is a major book, and it is dependent upon as a book for fiqh. So he says that also Ibn Hibban in his Sahih has narrated from Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhu that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed 8 rak'ah with his companions radiyallahu anhum ajma'in in the month of Ramadan and finished with witr. Nasbur Raya, volume 2, page 152. And I know Mufti Abdul Qadir Hoosen was given this book. He had this book with him. I don't know if he still does, but I am the one who gifted him this book. I think it was 3 volumes, if I'm not mistaken. And Mufti Abdul Qadir Hoosen can check in this book, and inshallah he will find the information. One of the books which is a commentary of Al-Hidayah, Fathul Qadir, written by Ibn Humam rahimahullah ta'ala. It is a commentary of Al-Hidayah, as I said, in volume 1, page 334. The author says, in conclusion, the Qiyam of Ramadan that is Taraweeh, consists of 8 rak'ats with jama'ah, as it was done by our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we also have in the footnotes of Hidayah, volume 1, page 96, the following: the sunnah is that which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did regularly. A hadith scholar of the Hanafis, Abdul Hayy Laknawi al-Hanafi rahimahullah ta'ala, states in his book Taliqul Mumjid that the narrations which Ibn Hibban has narrated in his Sahih of Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed 8 rakats Taraweeh with his companions in the month of Ramadan and finished with the witr, is very Sahih, meaning very authentic. Taliqul Mumjid is the commentary of the Muwatta of Imam Muhammad. Imam Muhammad was a foremost student of Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala. Then we have one of the famous Hanafi scholars by the name of Shaykh Muhammad Zakaria Kandelvi, the author of Tablighi Nisab, who says, according to the principles of the Muhaddithin, that is the scholars of Hadith, it has not been authentically proven in the correct manner with a marfu narration, that means an elevated narration to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reported by a companion or a successor, that is the students of the companions, and others, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed 20. This citation of his is in Awjaz al-Masalik, the commentary of the Muwatta of Imam Malik, volume 1, page 397. So, indicating that 20 rakat narration is weak. Lastly, the late hadith scholar of Deoband, Anwar Shah Kashmiri, Al-Hanafi, he writes about the 20 rakat. He says, what is authentically proven from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the number of 8 rakats, and the report that states that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed 20 has been narrated with a weak chain, which makes it da'if, that is weak. And there is ijma, consensus upon its weakness. And the Shaykh has recorded this in a commentary that he wrote of the Sunan of Imam at-Tirmidhi called Al-Urfu Shadhi, and it is available in the Urdu language, and I don't know whether it has been translated into any other language. Allahu A'lam. So, this is the conclusion of the Salatul Taraweeh, inshallah ta'ala. And we'd like to remind everyone that has been following this, that what we call to is practice our deen with ilmul yaqeen, that is with certain knowledge, or practice it with ghalabatul dhan, that what you are following is in fact authentic, that with the preponderance of probabilities, what you are practicing is correct. And that can only be done if your focus is practicing the deen according to what was brought by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and put into practice by his companions radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. We are not obliged to follow any individual or any group or anyone calling to any ideology. What we are obliged to follow is the Quran and the Sunnah. And the Quran and Sunnah should be our reference. And this is the instruction by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the ayat that I've read when we started. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهِ. Say if you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then follow me, follow Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love you. And all of us want the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To reach the level or the rank of a Mufti, one ought to know that 8 rak'ats Taraweeh, 11 rak'ats with the witr, is something that is firmly established in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not a fabrication, it is not an innovation, it is not something that is far-fetched, and this is the message. And inshallah, in the recordings to follow, we will attend to other matters in the recording of Mufti Abdul Qadir Hoosen, the 8 minute 16 second recording. Wa barakallahu feekum wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.